Remember the Alamo? John Wayne did. For 13 years, he couldn't forget it. What started as a patriotic dream turned into a financial nightmare. The director mortgaged his house, stars showed up drunk, and one actor nearly died from heat stroke in a coonskin cap. These are 20 weird facts about the Alamo. Stay until the end, because what happened to that massive fort they built in Texas will shock you. John Wayne didn't just star in the Alamo, he bled for it. For 13 years, he carried the script, pitching it to every studio. Warner Brothers said no. MGM laughed him out. United Artists said too expensive. So Wayne decided he'd direct it himself. He mortgaged his house, sold assets, and kept going when everyone said stop. By the time cameras rolled, he was betting everything on a dream Hollywood had already rejected. If you love the real stories behind Hollywood's greatest films, this channel is 90s playback. Every week we go deeper than the credits. Hit subscribe right now. Let's go. Fact 1. Wayne didn't want a backlot. Crews spent 2 years in Brackettville, Texas, building a full-scale Alamo mission. Stone walls 3 feet thick, working wells, 7 acres total. Construction hit $1.5 million before a single actor arrived. Today it's a tourist attraction called Alamo Village. Wayne built more than a movie. He built a landmark. Fact 2. Wayne offered Richard Widmark an insane deal. Play Jim Bowie for scale. Widmark was a major star. He read the script and agreed, not for money, but for the role. Lawrence Harvey followed as Travis, also below his usual fee. Decades later, people still quote Widmark's Bowie. The money is forgotten. That performance never will be. Fact 3. Filming was brutal. Temperatures soared past 120 degrees. Extras fainted in formation. Wayne in full buckskin refused to stop. The real fur coonskin cap trapped heat like an oven. He staggered mid-scene, waved off medics, and kept filming. A doctor said he'd been minutes from heat stroke. Wayne's response, Crockett didn't quit. Neither will I. Fact 4. The Alamo was a political statement. In 1960, Cold War fear dominated every headline. Wayne saw it as a perfect metaphor. Free men choosing death over surrender. Critics called it propaganda. Conservatives loved it. Liberals mocked it. Wayne ran full-page ads defending the message. Some theaters refused to screen it. Whether you agreed or not, you couldn't ignore it. Fact 5. Widmark and Wayne clashed constantly. Widmark was meticulous and method. Wayne learned lines the night before. One afternoon, Widmark demanded a rewrite. Wayne refused. Widmark threatened to walk. They stood nose to nose until they compromised. Wayne later said Widmark made him a better director. Widmark said Wayne taught him to trust his instincts. They never became friends. They made something unforgettable. Fact 6. The battle scenes were chaos. Real cannons, live explosives, hundreds of extras. Wayne at 52 insisted on his own stunts. Insurance threatened to pull coverage. He climbed ladders, fired muskets, ran through explosions regardless. When the smoke cleared, he told the crew, that's how they did it in 1836. That's how we do it now. Fact 7. The budget exploded from $7 million to over $12 million. The studio threatened shutdown. Wayne mortgaged assets and borrowed from friends. At one point, personally liable for over $1 million. He stopped sleeping. He chain smoked between takes. Stopping meant losing, and John Wayne didn't know how to lose. Fact 8. Wayne wanted accuracy, but history isn't cinematic. The real battle lasted 90 minutes. The siege before it was 13 days of waiting. So he invented scenes that never happened. Crockett probably didn't die swinging his rifle. Bowie likely died in bed. Historians tore it apart. But Wayne was making a myth, and myths need larger-than-life moments. Fact 9. An extra died during filming. Not from a stunt, but a heart attack on a break. A local Texan collapsed in the shade and never got up. Wayne gathered everyone afterward. Nobody remembers what he said. They remember how he looked. Shaken. Pale. For the first time since filming began, John Wayne seemed fragile. Fact 10. Lawrence Harvey called the film jingoistic American nonsense within earshot of the crew. Wayne walked over and said quietly, "There's a plane back to England anytime you want." The crew froze Harvey out. And yet on screen his Travis was electric. Cold, proud, aristocratic. A perfect accident born from genuine contempt. Fact 11. One horse in a death scene refused to go down on cue. After failed take, they gave it a sedative over the vet's objections. It collapsed perfectly on camera, then died 20 minutes later from an allergic reaction. Wayne paid for the burial. Asked about regrets, he always mentioned that horse first. Fact 12. Wayne's original cut ran over 4 hours, including Sam Houston's victory at San Jacinto. The studio revolted. Wayne cut 90 minutes. Sam Houston vanished. The film ended in silence and defeat. He didn't speak for hours after seeing the final version. Somewhere there's a 4-hour Alamo that almost was. When Wayne died, it died with him. Fact 13. The Oscar campaign backfired. Wayne ran ads implying voting against the film meant voting against America. He personally called Academy members, tying everything to patriotism. The Alamo got 7 nominations, including Best Picture. Wayne won only Best Sound. Academy members later admitted they voted against it because of the campaign. He confused patriotism with quality and paid the price. Fact 14. A pre-production test explosion nearly ended everything. 3 times bigger than planned. Windows shattered half a mile away. A stone landed where Wayne had been standing moments before. One crew member had a ruptured eardrum. Another had burns. Fire marshals threatened shutdown. Production hung in limbo for 3 days. Fact 15. Behind the patriotic speeches, the Alamo was Wayne working through guilt. He never served in World War II. While other stars enlisted and became heroes, Wayne stayed on deferments. The speeches about dying for freedom were his confession, not just dialogue. The film changed him. He spent years supporting veterans afterward. It was penance. Fact 16. The San Antonio premiere nearly became a riot. Thousands showed up beyond capacity. Crowds pushed against barricades. Inside, Wayne sat nervously before Texans who treated the Alamo as sacred ground. The audience grew restless. Some walked out. During the final battle, the theater went silent. When the screen faded to black, nobody moved. Fact 17. A rumor spread that a stuntman died on set and Wayne covered it up. No one died, but a stuntman was paralyzed after an improperly rigged fall. Wayne's company settled quietly. Medical bills, a pension, a non-disclosure. Over time, injury became death and settlement became cover-up. Friends urged him to set the record straight. He refused. A man paralyzed because of his film felt nearly as bad as the rumor. Fact 18. The film never covered its budget. International audiences didn't care about American mythology. Wayne spent 5 years paying off debts, taking roles he didn't want. His dream became his anchor. He never directed on that scale again. Sometimes the things you love most destroy you. Fact 19. The fort still stands. After filming, the studio wanted to tear it down. Wayne bought it and opened Alamo Village to the public. He'd visit for years, walking those streets alone. Nothing filmed there afterward matched what he'd built. Then a new generation found it on streaming and fell in love with his vision. Fact 20. Wayne kept a private journal during filming nobody knew about. His family found it after his death. One entry, 3 weeks before the shoot ended, reads, "I don't know if this will work. I don't know if anyone will care, but I had to try." A man has to stand for something, even if he stands alone. His son read it and cried, because the Alamo was never about 1836. It was about a man trying to prove something to a world that had moved on. Wayne stood alone. He built his fort. He told his story. Maybe that was enough. Drop a comment telling us which fact hit hardest. And if you want more deep dives into the real stories behind Hollywood's greatest films, subscribe to 90s Playback. New episodes every single week. See you in the next one.